Okay, so we are on the Kenilworth Greenway and walking towards Kenilworth, and we're going to turn off left in a mile or two or several kilometres, and we're going to go off towards Warwick University, which of course is not in Warwick, it's in Coventry. So thank you for the lovely comments I've had of late. Thank you for liking, sharing, and for ringing the bell. A special thank you for all of you who have subscribed. That's just wonderful. Just a few more and we've hit 2,000. Now I know some people have millions, but then I ain't not famous, am I? I ain't famous. So if you put my name into Google, it does tend to come up in a lot of places. So that could be to do with the fact that in Google Maps, my hotel recommendations and photos have had 10.7 million views, 10,700,000 views at least, and moving towards the next hurdle, as it were. Right, now I did say in the last one we were going to talk about perspective, and I taught perspective drawing a long while ago when I was, look at that, that's all right, isn't it? When I was teaching. I used to teach technical drawing and sketching and all the rest of it, and one of the things we taught was perspective, and what we said was things don't always appear how they are. I still remember before we stayed in Dubai one year that I went online and looked at our hotel, and I compared it to all the others, and I thought, wow, it's not very big. It's you know, just nice and neat. When we got there, our hotel went off up into the sky, way up into the sky, and I think we were on about the 29th floor, and we could look out and see the palm, you know, out in the sea where they've made a palm island and put big houses and hotels on it. We could see that from our window. We had a bay seat that went over, stuck out over the abyss, a sort of a bay that you could sit in, which was lovely to sit there and look across Dubai. And of course, the perspective was wrong. What I'd done is made the comparison between the buildings around it and the hotel we were going to have. Well, it turned out that ours was just an enormous hotel. It just wasn't quite as enormous as all the ones that are around it. Nevertheless, we had a fabulous time. So let's have a think about perspective. Often, when you are close to objects, they seem bigger. Now, I use that in my photography. You can make a little flower seem as big as a building on a bright day because you can get a lot of depth of field, and it doesn't mean the flower is as big. It means it's closer, that's all. And that could be true for things that happen in your life. They seem big and terrible. After all, a babe who drops a rattle from the pram, it could seem to them like the end of the world, and we all know it isn't. So talk to others. If you're having a bad patch, talk to others and they may help you get the perspective right, because things that are closer often seem bigger than they are, and of course the further away they are, you suddenly realise they weren't as bad as you thought they were when you were close up to them. So that's perspective. Of course, others might help you to see that the issue that you're dealing with now isn't trivial, but it isn't as big as you would imagine. We often react very quickly to situations. This is what's kept the human species alive, where sometimes the first reaction is not the best one. I should know. I saw something on a plaque the other day, which I thought was funny. It says, "I don't like to think before I speak, because then I can be as surprised as everybody else is." I thought that, yeah, that worked for me. So we're still making our way along the Greenway, as requested by Dave out there in Tennessee. A funny idea, you'll have better weather than we have. It was snowing when I came out this morning. And yeah, this is the Rambling Rambler. It's the Rambling Rambler, or Dave to his friends. And I'm pleased to say that people have left comments. Must be my friends, because they refer me to me as Dave. So that's nice. Isn't that nice? If you do want to leave a comment, I'll try and give you a shout out. I wish I could promise, but I can't note all of them. But I will try and give you a shout out. And for the young lady, I don't know how old she is, but we'll call her a young lady, who's been asking about Cuba. If you contact me, you want some more information about Baracoa, you can contact me on Facebook, and just say you're the one who was chatting about Cuba, and we'll go from there. I can give you a lot more information, but only if you want. That's entirely up to you. So now, yeah, Baracoa, we had to go all through the Sierra Maestro in Cuba and travel for hours through the most beautiful forest and countryside and mountains. Absolutely beautiful. So, there's a pond down there. You see the blue sky reflecting in it. Looks an interesting pattern. So yes, we went all through the Sierra Maestro. We stayed at Baracoa, but before that we spent a long while going through the jungle, and we spent 2 single nights in, they call them villa hotels, and they were absolutely beautiful. Of course, you can, if you were interested, look up Cuba on here for playlists, and you can see some of the wonderful. It's snowing again, just a few flakes. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, yeah, you could find Cuba on there. That would be, you can see all the wonderful scenery. And of course, what I loved about it, and I did film it quite a bit, the old cars in Cuba, 1950s cars, all looking sprightly and bright and sharp. Very, very lovely. How do you know there's been horses along here? Yes, so that's lovely, lovely walk along here. I'm going to stop filming in a moment when it just sort of runs through, and then we will be able to. I'll film when we go through Crackly Wood, because that was the other request from David. He wanted to see Crackly Wood. We won't actually go into it, but we'll film some of it as we go by on this redundant railway, the Greenway, Kenilworth Greenway. So this is Dave on the edge of Coventry, UK, heading towards Kenilworth. The Rambling Rambler, Dave to his friends, saying bye for now from the UK. And we'll let this just run through and stop. Look at the lovely flowers. Nice primroses. Afternoon. A few people along here, but can you see the snow? There's a few flakes coming down.